Jaclyn, welcome to Tough Teams. It is so nice to have you here. How's your day going?
Oh, it's going great. Thank you for talking to me. Happy to be part of Tough.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Speaking of tough, my first question is it feels like you've been at Tough for a lifetime, but in reality, when I checked the calendar this morning, I was kind of blown away to see that it's only been 7 weeks. So, in with respect to like your time here still being kind of fresh, can you tell me about one thing that you expected to experience at Tough or expected to like about Tough that has like come true? And then can you tell me about something that kind of surprised you about Tough?
Good questions. I would say something that I expected Tough to be like upon coming in and joining is having a startup feel. I come from bigger corporations and companies, and when I was joining Tough, I was really excited to work with a tight-knit team of people and have like a more intimate work environment. And I've been pleasantly surprised with that. It feels like I've been here forever. And I had just started. So all of those expectations have been fulfilled. And something I'm surprised about is how fast the workflow is in a good way. I'm already on my, I don't know, seventh or eighth or 10th project or something. And I started 7 weeks ago. So I was right in the dirt from the jump. And it's been a really good way to get to know the team fast and right up front. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind so far, and it's great.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, next question is one thing that was immediately evident, even from like the moment you applied and we all saw your sizzle reel, was that you're a genius at logo animation. And if I'm definitely going to have to link your sizzle reel in the description of this YouTube video so people can go check it out. But when you see a logo, like what are the makings of a logo that are like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to animate that? Like, how is there like a structure, or like a way that the logo is
Mhm.
designed that makes it especially fun for animation?
That's a very good question. For me, I'm very drawn to shapes and symmetry. So if a logo is just very well thought out and placed on a frame, where there's like even sides and cool angles and nice like triangle shapes or circles. I have a thing with circles. A lot of my best logo animations like have like a circular feel to it. I just kind of already know what direction it's going in. But some of the most fun animations I've done have been real surprises in the sense
Mm,
that the design itself was like very old or a little outdated, or nobody really liked the design. And the motion graphic was meant to elevate that. So those projects are usually a challenge, but they're very rewarding. Um, so yeah.
that is the fun thing about being creative is taking somebody that everybody feels medium about and like giving it a fresh little sparkle.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that. Is there a particular project or like something, like a particular like logo animation or project that you were like, wow, that was really cool.
I would say something that comes to mind right away is the last two positions ago, I was at a record label called Better Noise Music, and they had a logo that was a little outdated in the sense that they were a record label, but their logo had like radio tower signals above. It was just like not working anymore, but they didn't want to rebrand because that would be a very big project and kind of heavy lift for them. So we decided to animate that logo in a way that could rebrand the design without changing the design, which was really
Mm,
cool. So what I did is I kind of tried to reimagine those radio signals into something circular because they had a circular shape to them. And the animation came out to be a record of vinyl, kind of like spinning.
ooh.
And it's cool. It animated into the final design that they had. And it's cool because didn't think of a radio tower anymore when you looked at the design. So that rebranding was fun for me. And that was probably that surprised me the most finishing that animation, how well it changed the logo without changing the logo.
That's so clever too. I bet it was the sort of experience where you're like, is this gonna work? Is this too far of a leap? And then to have it like come full circle, I
Exactly.
bet that was really gratifying.
Yeah, it was really rewarding, and now it's used for all of their stuff. And it was a small step toward changing something that made all the difference. So it really also helped me appreciate motion graphics a lot more after that experience.
That's super cool. I love that. Okay, my next question for you is that you're a motion designer by trade, but I know that you have a background in writing. Can you tell me about like if your writer brain impacts the way that you approach a new animation design or what's sort of the interplay of those two skill sets?
Yeah, I would say that writing is copy in a way. So when thinking about animating something, you kind of want to communicate what you want the audience to think about this logo and this design without having to say it.
Mhm.
So that's a way that writing and motion graphics can work hand in hand. I remember when I was doing my project for Tough, and I did the kiddo
Yeah, that was so cute.
graphics. I decided to do an animation of balls bouncing through the logo. Um, and that was kind of to communicate that this is for kids, and the balls and like the fun aspect of that communicated, I think, that this was for a younger audience before we even saw the name of the brand.
Mhm.
So, in that sense, writing is important to know the copy and know your audience and know who you're marketing to. So, I would say that's how it ties in the most for me.
Awesome. Well, we were chatting about this a little bit earlier, and you said you also another magical skill and you have is dance, and you spent a long time as a dancer. And you were telling me about a really cool way that that also impacts the way you'll approach animation too. Could you share those thoughts here? Because I really love the way you were explaining
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, well, growing up and going to school for dance and dancing for many, many years, you develop a sense of musicality because you're trained to have
Yeah.
musicality. So, transitioning into my career, when I became an editor, I started off editing before I got into motion graphics. And editing for me was all about the music because you could cut to the beat. Depending on what you're editing, the music drove the story of what you were editing. And I really found that that helped me find a style that was different from other editors. Um, Music really became a style of editing. So I brought that into motion graphics. And I make like sound effects as I'm animating a lot of the time. I'd be like moving something and I'd be like, shh, shh,
I
and it's
love
kind of
that.
yeah, it's kind of a way to like get the feel of how fast you want something to move, when you want it to land, how you want it to land and how you want it to feel overall, I think is all about cutting to a beat and having a keen ear for music.
I love that. Okay, so next questions then are what are you reading as a writer and what are you listening to as a music or as a dancer slash musical person?
Um, so I am in two book clubs right now, which is the best. One is for tough. So I am reading Coltish. And the other book I'm reading is called Razorblade Tears. I just started that one. It's very dark,
Mm,
but I love the dark drama stories. I think that they have great character development as a writer. And I think that they feel organic in how they play out, whether it's a mystery or just a drama novel. I think that those are just very fast reads.
mhm, mhm. I
So
love it. I love it. Okay, my last question before we jump. You are a resident of the Big Apple. Well, you just moved a little bit outside, but when somebody asks you, Jaclyn, what's it like to live in New York City? Do you have a go-to story that you tell them?
I usually say you have to get used to terrible smells and loud noises at all times of the day. But when I first moved into the city, I lived in the middle of Herald Square and I was working in Rockefeller Center at the time. So I literally never got a break from all the madness. And I guess one of the best stories I have from that time is my doorman for the building that I was living in was part of this like secret group or something. I don't even know if I should be talking about this, but it's fine. Like this secret group where he was like joined an app. He was part of an app that could change the lights on all of the towers of the New York skyline.
Oh,
It was weird. So we would go up to the roof of our building and he would log into this app. Maybe he was a hacker or something. I don't know. And we could only change it to certain colors, the colors that it was set to that day. Like if it was 4th of July, we could change it red, white, and blue and have it animate up and down based on like
no
buttons on the
way.
app. And it was so cool. And that's like probably my first memory. It was like the most powerful feeling. I was in the middle of Herald Square, like animating all the lights to the buildings. It was wild. Uh,
That's incredible. That is
yeah.
incredible. Wow. And he's just like something that you'd never expect out of your like,
Never expect. He worked the front desk at my building, and you know, he's like, by the
this,
way, I
like so this job must be a cover for something.
for sure, for sure. I hope he's in a good spot right now. I don't know what he's doing, but he was definitely not really. He didn't really work there, you know.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
So,
That was perfect. That was like better than I could have ever expected that question going. Oh my gosh. Well, Jaclyn, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Really happy for all of the people out on the internet to get to know you a little bit better too. And I hope you have an excellent rest of your day.
you as well. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks. See you in just a moment at our next meeting.